Hello, it's the Friday Coven, and I am trying something new by standing up. And welcome. I'm here today, and we are going to talk about pushing and pulling the things that we really, really want. And earlier today, I had this like epiphany of how to put these specific words together. So I'm super excited about it. If you're new to this space, I'm Enchantress Shane, and I guide people to feel their magical life when it feels secretly boring or they feel unfulfilled on a day-to-day basis. Okay, so let's get into it. I Oh, let's see. Okay, I want to delete this. And I want to say that I want to welcome everybody. If you're new or you're experienced to being here, I'm just going to grab my little cards. So gather in the space. Grab your water. Hello, Rockaway Sisters. Grab your water, tell your friends, share this video. I'm going to pull a goddess card for us. It is a beautiful, it's like here in Rockaway, we are merging into spring and all of the greenery literally overnight. What's up, goddess? Is like blooming. It's just blooming everywhere. There's like little green shoots. So most of the time I go blonde for the summer and the spring, but I went dark. So my hair is like super blown out and shiny, shot out. Oh, look at all the beautiful, amazing women showing up. Shout out to Patricia of Rock Hair. She does an amazing job with curly hair, even though she blew it out straight because we wanted to see the color. Anyway, I'm going to pull a card for all of us. And it's the Goddess Power cards. And right now, hello, beautiful. What's up, Connie? We are merging into spring. We just had the spring equinox, and we also had a new full moon. And I did a ritual inside the Enchantress Society. And we did this cool thing about desires, about what we want, what we need, and what we desire. And those three things are very different energetically, different the way you go about them. And so we're going to talk about that. And we're also going to talk about how when you really want something, ways and secrets actually that you push them away when you really want them and you pull them in when you're in connection. Okay, so I'm going to pull a card and I'm going to call in all of my ancestors and any energies of all of us that would like to support all of our momentum. And I'll pull a card, a goddess that will represent that, let's say for the weekend, for all of us. Okay. Ooh. Oh. So this is, you know what? I can't even read it. It's Len. I think it's Elen. Elen of the Ways. I haven't pulled this card before, and she's all about patterns. So this is really meaningful actually because we create and we have these patterns in our lives for big genius reasons. And when we're little, we figure out how to maneuver life when things are tough. And, it's not always the best for our adult selves, but we create these patterns. And so it's hard to notice them. And actually, what I do, and it's a blessing and a curse, is I see the unseen. So I see people's patterns. I see things getting in people's way that they could work towards breaking up. I don't always see my own, but I could see other people's. So let's see if it spells it. Oh, it's Elen, Elen of the Ways. So she's the goddess of paths and patterns. And basically the question is, and I'll ask all of you, and you can answer to yourself or you can answer in the comments. It's always fun to have participation. Have you noticed patterns in your life that lead to positive experiences? Okay, that's great. I love that frame because when I say patterns, automatically I feel like they're negative patterns. But this is framing them as positive patterns. I love that. Oh my goodness, I so needed this card because I'm Jewish and I go straight to the like what isn't working. But I've been trained over the years to focus on what is working, and to really focus on that takes work. life throws stuff at us that is not easy and not positive, and usually it has big pain. So how do we have both, right? The big pain stuff and the stuff that's good, because we know that they happen at the same time. It's not easy, but it happens, and we need to really stay focused and clear, like, oh, there are good things going on always, and there are miracles, and there is hope, and we do have faith and community, because if we just sit around actually thinking and ruminating, our health can deteriorate. It's really powerful. Like, the cells of our bodies are tuned in to the way we feel. Stress is so good. Your morning practices, great. That's a beautiful pattern. So let's talk about that. I'm glad you brought that into the space. So I have all these things I do in the morning. I write, I move my body for 3 songs. I meditate for 15 minutes. What else do I do? A couple more things that involve pleasure. And I read 10 pages a day, and I drink water, but that's throughout the day. Now, if I think of it as like I'm doing these things so I can be better, it automatically triggers the inner rebel in me that's like, no, you don't have to do them. You could do whatever you want. But I like to think of them as grounding practices. Instead of self-help or self-love, because that triggers this thing that's like, I already do that. I don't have to do these other things. Instead, they're grounding practices. And what that does for me is when life throws something turbulent, I have these practices that are already done, because it's so fucking hard to start a new practice or a new healthy, good habit when things are already hard. But it's like, if you just have them already, then you're in control of them. And when something bad happens, it's usually because we're out of control. So these are the things that we can control, are our habits and our patterns. I love how they started this out. Developing positive habits, I've never read this card before, introduces new patterns into the fabric of reality and will support your dreams. This is amazing, as they take form in the material world. Okay, that's beautiful. I wanted to share my own thing today, but I really love this as a guide, because here's the thing. I don't know about you, but this year, like this seasonal year, is flying by. Like, I just looked, today's my dad's birthday. And a memory came up of his birthday last year. And I was like, wow, I remember that really soon ago. I can't believe it's already a year. This summer, I'm going to be 47. I was like, I feel like I'm getting used to 46. Time is going really fast. And so, you know, creating habits, creating patterns are beautiful, but they're not easy for me to start. Even if they're pleasurable, I have a very strong, thank you, Cindy. You know what the difference is? I'm also standing. I figured this might be fun. Yeah, thanks, Patty. Because I have this stand from Rockaway Creates with a light on it. And I was like, why don't I use it? So I'm standing up instead of sitting down. So thanks for noticing. So when we create patterns, it's great. We have these beautiful habits, but I don't know if any of you have this, but when I wake up, I'm cranky, I'm vulnerable, I'm sort of like in dread mode a little bit. There are some days, I hope, that I get up excited, but usually if I lay in bed too long, it's not a good thing. So I have this app. It's a workout app. It's very gentle, but you start in bed. You do the whole thing in bed. So I could be laying there, annoyed, feeling dread, feeling anxious, all these things. And then I hit start on the app and I'm like, oh, I don't want to do it. But I start doing it and then I feel good. And then it's whatever time it is. Maybe I do a connection practice with a friend on the phone. You know, so what's your initial step into your good habits in the morning? You wake up like sunshine? Oh my God, that's amazing. I don't know if you're kidding, but I'm not even envious. I'm just so curious. Like, what is it like to be like, I'm out of bed, yay! Once I get started, oh, hold on. I saw Cooper making a twist and turn, and he was going to fall off the couch. Wow, Patty, you jump out of bed? That's amazing. I'm just so curious what's like, what is that like? So when I hit this start button, um, it's kind of frustrating, you know? I'm like, I don't even want to move in my bed. I'm like, oh, I'm so comfortable. I don't want to move my leg. But then I start to do it, and the rest of my day unfolds. Okay, so here's the thing that she says to do. All manner of miracles are possible. Oh, this is a really positive one. Now is the time to build bridges across any divides with others that have been temporarily separated. Oh, this is meaningful for me. Your path is clear. The way will be shown as you make new choices for your life with the goddess of Elen of the ways as your happy guide. Listen, not all the goddesses are, happy or easy. Like some of the goddesses are really strong, like Kali. She's like just the goddess of destruction, which can turn positive, but it's destruction. Okay, so the last thing I'll read here. So she offers this alignment task, and this is the card for all of us. So really let that in. Make a commitment to change your way and follow and choose to allow for new paths to be explored. It's time to look at your need to always wonder, oh, when the other shoe will drop, and how you will remain in familiar territory, although you're not content. Ellen will show you the way out. You just need to want to follow. Okay. So what we talked about during the spring equinox ritual was the difference between needs and wants and desires. And needs are things that we need essential, not like a car, but like a house, food, water, oxygen, yeah, like things that if we didn't have them, it would not be okay. Like if you didn't have a home to go to, that would be a need, right? And a want is something a little bit more luxurious, but like you need it. Like I need my car, I want my car, I want my dog, I want a bicycle, I want fancy hats. Like these are wants, like things that you can have because your needs have all been met. And then your wants are the extra. And then the next level is desires. So it's things that are just like, ooh, a little bit out of reach, a little bit, I wouldn't even say scary, just a little bit charged with like, ooh, can I have that? So a really good example is I have a car, it runs well, it's a great car, but I'm so sick of it. I'm done. And so I went shopping with a couple of friends at my secret spot. Actually, friends and clients and friends are all the same at this point. And I got outside and they both had nice cars. And my car's okay, but it's super basic, right? The radio's not working. There's no sunroof, like things like that, right? But it's something I want. But now I had a bigger desire. I saw their cars and I was like, you know what? I want to sell my car and get another one. And I wanted to have something special in it. Yes, you were at the secret spot. It was you. It was your car and Karen's car. And I was like, I've always had a leased car and I've always had new cars. And for the last two cars, they've been used cars and they've been very basic, very low end. And I'm like, I don't want that anymore. So my desire is to get a car that's very special. I feel almost embarrassed sharing it for real right now. And so that's what happens with a desire. It's almost like there's a little bit of shame because like, oh, you want something like that? Oh, you're not just happy because you have a car with good gas mileage and a hatchback. Like that's good. Hi, Tom. So my desire is to have a convertible. And so every I'm sure there are people that are going to show up and say, ooh, that's not practical. It's going to leak. You're going to have to buy a new cover, blah, blah, blah. And I don't care. It is a desire of mine. And yeah, and I found a couple that I like. So first I was looking at European cars, and my car guy is like, listen, I've been working with cars for 50 years. If you get a European car, you're going to be upset. It's going to be cost effective. You know, it's not going to be cost effective. And I was like, well, then I'm looking for it. Anyway, doing what I want to do. And then we went in the car together today, and I was like, well, you come look at these Audis with me. I got obsessed with the Audi. And because that's how my brain works, I'm like fixated, right? So this is a desire, and I'm exactly, Patricia, Patty, I'm like, it's my desire. That's what I want. I get in the car. He's like, all right, you know, whatever. I'll go look at it with you. But I get back on Facebook in Marketplace, and I see a car, and I'm like, ooh, what about the Toyota Solara? And he's like, Toyotas are great. That's my daughter's car. I've been fixing it for years. I know it really well. You can get a new roof if you need. It's like $1,200, and you can even pick the color. And I was like, okay, new obsession. And so it's really important. I feel really good telling you this now. And also because Patty, your car inspired me. It's like, it's really easy to be fine, right? And it's really easy to have your needs met. You know, that old saying, like a roof over your head and food on the table. Like, we fucking need that. And then there's wants. But to play in the desire, oh, I love it. Thank you for co-signing on it. You know, like, I was going to get the Saab anyway, but I felt really good for my car guy to be like, Toyotas are dependable, and I wanted it to be special. So when we're playing in the land of desires, a lot of stuff comes up, okay? Shame is one thing where it's like, ooh, I don't even want to admit that I want this. You know, I've been watching, so I was sick a lot this year, like COVID and this and that. And I watched a lot of Say Yes to the Dress. Anybody know that show? And it was so interesting. Like, brides in America, or probably all over the world, have no shame, at least these on the show, have no shame about spending $20, $30,000 on a fucking dress for one day. And being out of the norm, maybe like starting a business, declaring yourself an artist, getting a convertible. The world and society have like a big problem with that, right? So I start to compare these things. Ooh, interesting. Well, so I brought up a Lexus also, and he said it's also a good car because it's made by Toyota, I think, but it's made by another Japanese maker. It's not like a European car. Okay, cool. So it's like the way we judge ourselves, the way we judge our bigger desires is not our own judgment. It's what other people say. So if you're surrounding yourself by people who are like very practical and a little bit filled with scarcity and lack, it's going to be really hard for you. What's up, Mike? To expand what you really desire. Because when you really desire something, it's natural that you're going to come up against walls. And that's going to be people who are judging you, people who are giving advice, and as humans, it's impossible not to let it sink in a little bit. So here's what happens. Okay, so I was obsessed with the Saab, right? I'm looking, not a Saab, an Audi. I was looking and looking and looking and connecting with all these owners and blah, blah, blah. And the more somebody said to me, don't do it, the more I pushed. Oh, we're about to come full circle. The more I pushed, the more I was like, I know what I want. I have a special feeling. I'm going to do what I want. And the more I pushed. And you know what happened? The more expensive they got, the more distance they were. I don't want to go to Connecticut or Pennsylvania. So it's really important. Yeah, I love that you said that, Patty. Like, don't listen. But if you're a sensitive person and those vibrations, those words are coming at you like, don't do that, you're wrong, that's not good for you. I know what's better. It's like our inclination as humans is to be like, well, I actually know what's better. I'm going to push even harder. And when we push harder, we push the thing away that we really want. And so that's what was happening to me. Like today, I wrote to all the guys with the Audis and I said, oh, do you take Venmo? I don't have fucking thousands of dollars in cash, and all my banking is online. And they all said no, cash only or Zelle, which are all connected to the checking account, and all my stuff is in investments and like other places. So now every single car that I lined up said no, cash only. And I don't want to go look at cars. If you like something, you got to like get it right on the spot. So now, because I was in connection with someone, I love that. Yeah. Then the new car came up, the Toyota Solara, and I got like a big yes on it. I felt really good. And there's 3 that I'm going to go look at on Monday. So when you really want something, let's say you're having some kind of life transition, whether it's a divorce or weight loss or some grief, or a new job, or, something that feels new. For me, it's a new car. It is so important to not talk to everybody about it. That's one thing. The second thing is when you overthink it, when you overthink and mind fuck yourself and overthink it, you're actually making it feel bad. And then that energy pushes the thing away. So to be really discerning and discuss it and share it with someone that you really trust. And maybe even that person, you say to them like, hey, I don't want any feedback. I don't want any advice. Can I share with you a desire? That's it. I mean, I've taken so many risks in my life. If I had people around that I would have asked, should I do this? I wouldn't have been living in this bungalow down by the ocean. I wouldn't have lived in Brooklyn in a big ass apartment. I wouldn't have had my one woman show. I wouldn't have done so many things. I wouldn't have quit teaching in a preschool. I wouldn't have quit my therapy job. Like, there are so many big deal things. I wouldn't have avoided getting a hysterectomy. I would have been having body parts out. Like, people only speak from their own experience, from their own limitations. And so it's tricky. But what I have to say is, if you're doing it alone, you're going to be stuck and fucked. Because if you don't know, if there's no light in front of you, if you've never went into that voyage, whether it's a new car or a new business, or you just lost 100 pounds and you can't actually see what you look like, or you're in a new relationship, it is scary to the ego. And so some old coping mechanism comes in and takes over. That can look like a bunch of things: overeating, over shopping, gossiping, or getting sick, or over taking care of somebody else and ignoring yourself, or staying stagnant, just being fine and sort of being like, I'm bored. I don't know what to do. I'm not fulfilled, and sort of not letting yourself even allow the idea that you could feel fulfilled every single day. Like, look at Patty Blue, who's an amazing singer, a great community human, has a new band, right? They're amazing. And not only that, they have merchandise. So like, when you commit to something, you can't, here's a great story. Wait, before I choke. All right, let me calm down. I get excited. I remember that I was in Hawaii and I was with my friend, yay, and she said to me, we have to hitch a ride. Now, I'm like, what? We have to hitch a ride? I'm from New York. We don't fucking hitch rides. But she's like, it's fine. Okay, so I'm on her, I'm trusting her, and she's doing this. She like has her thumb out, and I'm like, I don't know what I was doing, but I definitely was not doing what she was doing. And she said, Shane, you have to commit. And she's like, you have to put your arm out and stick up your thumb and look people in the eye as they drive by. And I was like, Are you fucking kidding? I did that in Jamaica once. It was so dangerous. And oh, what's up, Rasa Tiba? I did this everybody said, don't leave the resort. Don't go in, obviously don't go in strange cars. But me and this idiot friend of mine, we're 19, we're in Jamaica. Maybe we were 20, but we weren't 21. And we're in a car, stranger's car in the middle of the night, driving who fucking knows where. It was so stupid. We couldn't even look at each other because we knew it was so fucking dangerous. I think we were just like, what the fuck are we? Anyway, the point is, when you're doing something that is different, new, an adventure, it is so important to make sure the right people are around you so that there are no seeds of negativity planted, because when you're feeling a little bit insecure about it, those negative seeds will grow. Even if you didn't listen, even if you think that person's an idiot, blah, blah, blah. And this is on you, right? This is on me. Like, whoever we put our trust in, when you're excited about something or you want to just talk about it to everyone, it's so important to not do that, because if everybody has an opinion, you're going to get confused at the very least. And if someone even looks, they don't even have to say anything. Let's say you're like, I'm buying a convertible. And they're like, when that face comes on, it's like your body recognizes that face. Like, let's say you were in second grade and you were singing and your teacher looked at you. The message you got as a kid was, don't ever do that again. People don't like it. And now you don't sing anymore. So this is what I love to do with clients. Like, I love to open up the little Pandora's boxes of what you shouldn't do, and then be like, guess what? You should. You could. And it's almost like a Jack in the Box, right? It's like you open up Pandora's box and then you do the Jack in the Box, and then boop, your idea that you don't even know, your desire pops up and you're like, oh, that's my fucking desire? Whoa. So here's a really good example. So I was working with this woman. She was a mom. She hired me because she was overwhelmed. And all she wanted to do was have a peaceful home and family. That's why she hired me. She's like, my kids aren't sleeping. I'm stressed out. I want to feel better. I want you to help me. Okay. So we worked together. And one day she's like, Shane, I don't know what happened, but I woke up and I remembered I have a sewing machine in the basement, and I brought it up and I started using it, and look what I made. And she made this very interesting dinosaur pillow and all these things. This happened over the weekend, and she did it. She had no idea. She got a sewing machine when she was a little girl, in her teens, and she kept moving it with her. And then one day she woke up, and you know why that happened? Because her needs were met. Even her wants were met. She had 2 kids. She had one from a different marriage. And then she had 2 more kids with this man. They had a beautiful house. They had a backyard. So she felt guilty that she felt miserable. She's like, I have all these amazing things, but I feel miserable. The kids don't sleep, but all this trouble. So we have our session. She's like, I'm making these little dinosaur things. And then of course, all of her son's friends wanted one. She wasn't even selling them. She's not motivated by money. She just really wanted to do something that she was excited about. Do you know what happened? So she made these little dinosaurs. Guess what? Her kids were sleeping better. Do you know why? It's not focusing on the fact that they're not sleeping. She was not satisfied. She was not settled. She was up at night, not only dissatisfied in her life, but she was mad at herself for being dissatisfied in her life. Then on top of that, she had shame about being dissatisfied, and then shame about being angry at herself. It was layered. And because I don't do therapy with people, I was more just focusing on actions. And I'm like, okay, what's happening in nature? What's happening on a walk with your kids? All these different ways. And so our desires are waiting for us to realize them. And sometimes they show up, and most people have this thing called fear whiplash that's just like, shut up. I don't want that. That's too big and crazy. Louise Hay, who I honor and revere. What's up, Elizabeth? Hey, Kathy, Kate. Elizabeth, what's her name? Louise Hay. She's like the godmother, the grandmother of self-help. She wrote the book You Can Heal Your Life. If you never read it, get it. Anyway, she started her publishing company at 62 fucking years old. That's insane. She just really she just knew the power of words. She knew the power of positive suggestion and affirmations and surrounding yourself with good people and paying attention to the messages from our body. And she did it. And there's a whole slew of women and men icons that have done things for years. Look at Lucille Ball. I mean, I could really go on a roll right now. I'm not going to. But the idea is their desires were really uncomfortable. Like Lucille Ball, right? She was this physical comedy actress and she was gorgeous. That was not happening in Hollywood. Like there was some, like Phyllis Diller existed, right? But she played more on like, I'm ridiculous. You know, she wasn't gorgeous in the terms of gorgeous, like Hollywood gorgeous, like, you know, like demure. And so Lucille Ball, crazy, wild physical comedy actress. And then she decided, or she had a desire to run a whole studio. Okay, that's not, you know, there has to be a first person. So when I'm bringing up these people, and maybe your desires are not that big, but I want you to know that my desire to have a convertible car, something special, could be looked at as shallow or like a waste of time and money, you know, looking for problems. Who says that? Like, oh, you want to get that? You're just looking for problems. Ugh. That is all scarcity and lack mentality, and it doesn't feel good and it doesn't bring in new. Okay, so Patty says, here I am. I created a band late in life because I needed to follow my dream and passion. Not only have you created a band, but you're creating a movement, right? Like you're written up in the paper. And here's the thing, when you go with that kind of momentum, people step aside and give you space. And here's the thing, whatever age you're at could feel old to you. Like Patty said, late in life. Like, but if somebody was 80, 90 years old, they'd be like, you have so many years left, you know? So just really creating, what's up, sister? Like really creating space for your desires. Connie said something I wanted to read. Just shoot back at me. When I was looking for my current car, my father told me, make a list of everything you want, and then you won't get everything you want. But I heard God whisper in my ear, yes, you can have everything you want. And I just waited and followed my divine guidance, and eventually I got it. It's my pleasure mobile. I remember when you did that. And it was. And then you opened the door. It was so exciting. And here's the thing that I want to like defend the people, like the dads and the moms who care, and they say like, that's not practical. They just love you in their way, and they just want to protect you from being upset. So it's an old paradigm to be like, be happy with what you got. Ew, it's an old paradigm that I even hear a lot of people say when I was working in preschool classrooms. Ew. They would say to kids, Connie, do you know what I'm going to say? You get what you get. Oh, what is it? There's some stupid phrase like you get what you get and don't be upset. Oh, that's what it is. What the fuck is that? Like you're in school, you're a little kid, and there's a harmony. You know, we don't want spoiled bratty kids either, but you get what you get and you don't get upset. What do you do then? You're supposed to just swallow that upset and like not be happy with the color the teacher gave you. And some teachers do that just to piss kids off. Ugh, I know one like that. So my invitation to you right now, and if this is something that you want to work on, I'm the person to work on it with. And here's the other thing. I love self-expression desires. You know, I want to have a one-woman show. I've never done it. I have no scripts. I have no ideas, but I need some structure. Who knew? Did I do it? Yes. Did I want to live in this bungalow and I just wanted to live by the ocean. I had maybe $100 in the bank, a place in Brooklyn, no money, really shitty credit. Did I get it? Yes. Did I take massive risk? Yes. As soon as I quit my teaching job and I just did whatever I wanted, I'm sure. And I think I remember a lot of people were like, oh, what if you quit your teaching job? You're not going to have a pension. And I was like, okay, I'm 20 and I'm 21 and you're talking to me about a pension when I'm 65. What about all that time in between? I just get to go somewhere and want to stab myself in the eye? No, thank you. Thanks, Patty. And so, even like the comedy stuff that I've been doing or whatever I'm doing, those things are not really risky for me anymore. I know as soon as I get behind that mic, as soon as I step on a stage, I'm going to win. So the biggest risk that I've taken is dipping in the ocean. Like, I love risk, self-expression, no problem. But physical discomfort, not my thing. But I've been doing it. I went in yesterday. So exactly. So like, we can always push our edge. We can always do the unknown. And the only way that happens is with support, with community, with a teacher, with a mentor, because otherwise our body is built to be comfortable. So I don't know if I believe that though. Our body is built to be comfortable. Our ego is built to be comfortable. That feels better. I tuned into you, Connie. I thought like that's not, I like when I say things that mean the truth to me. Our ego is built to be comfortable. Our ego and our reptilian part of our brain is here to keep us safe, right? So don't go in the ocean, you're gonna get freezing. But it's here to keep us safe from like big crazy things like animals and lions eating us up. So when our ego comes in to rescue us from taking risk, it actually just tries to keep us small in Pandora's box. But I'm saying open the box and turn it into a jack in the box and sort of let that moment when the desire pops up, it's like, whoop, I want to own a building in Rockaway for community happenings. Oh, that's interesting. I've never wanted to own a storefront before. I've never wanted to be in a location before, but now I do. So if you're interested in that, let me know. But that's another big desire. And you know what? If these are big desires that like trigger dopamine or trigger all the feel-good chemicals in my brain, great. That's what I want. That's what gets me excited. And there's some repercussions is that I start a lot of projects and they don't get finished very succinctly. But so what? That's how I operate. Some people want to call that like a limit, like limiting. I call it expansive. Everything is up for discussion. Wow, you know what? Standing up and doing video feels really good, even though now I'm like leaning on the fucking door here, like, but yeah, this is my spot where I actually sell clothing. And I've been pulling things from the rack out here and bringing them here. I don't have anything on the rack right now. Maybe I should have done that. Should I wear this hat? No, because I'm getting my hair done and I want to wear it out. All right, everybody. So thank you so much for showing up. This has been a really energizing Friday Coven. I ask you to share this if it feels right with a person or on your page. And I'm offering a program right now called Devotion, Make It About Yourself. And it is all about what we just discussed. It's about feeling good, feeling good, and creating your desires from that place. Because if you feel bad and you feel, computing and overthinking, then you actually feel bad and you combine that with what you want. And when you feel bad and you combine that with what you want, you actually push the thing away that you really want. So it's really important to be devoted to putting yourself first so you can be generous with others. Can't really be generous with others. Yes, I definitely will. You can't be generous with others unless you have your own needs and wants fully met and you're playing in the world of desire. Because when you're playing in the world of desire, when you meet people, then they can be supporters and helpers of the desires. But if you're new at calling in bigger desires, you just can't do it alone. There will be things in life that show up, that shut you up, that shut it down, that tell you maybe another time, maybe when you're more ready, go back to school first. Fuck that shit. I've watched so many people think they have to go back to school first. And you know what? They're so pissed about going back to school. And then they feel old and then they talk themselves out of their desires anyway. So it's like a really shitty carousel to be on if you're going to talk yourself out of the good stuff. Okay. I am off to the synagogue, West End Temple. I'm going to go and enjoy. We have a potluck dinner. Oof, Cooper's. When he sleeps, sometimes he falls off the couch. Anyway. He's 16 and a half years old, Cooper. Ah, Coopy. All right, maybe he just wanted to be on camera. Here he is. He just woke up from a little nap and he fell off the couch. Okay, everybody, he's still feisty. I wish you all a great Shabbos and an easy rest of your evening. Sleepy face. Thank you so much. I will see you sometime this weekend. Yes, he receives that. He needs a little haircut around his eyes. Oy. Okay. All right, everybody. Bye.